We all want to feel like we belong, don't we? It's this really fundamental human craving.
Absolutely, like as deep as needing food or safety, Maslow's hierarchy stuff, right?
Exactly. But what if I told you this really primal desire, this need for connection, actually profoundly impacts something as seemingly rational as business performance?
Uh-huh.
Specifically, in family-owned companies.
That's precisely what we're digging into today.
Yeah.
We're looking at some really fascinating research that kind of uncovers what scholars call the social ghost in the machine.
Social ghost. I like that.
Yeah, it refers to those critical, often sort of unseen social psychological factors that quietly, guide the success of family businesses.
Okay.
So this deep dive, it's based on a great article integrating the need to belong theory with resource-based views. Uses survey data from 109 family firms.
Solid data then.
Pretty solid, yeah. And our mission really is to pinpoint how those deep family bonds translate into like actual competitive advantage and better performance.
Got it. So if you've ever wondered what really makes a family business tick, beyond just the products or the strategy, or honestly what makes any group really effective, you're probably going to have some real aha moments today.
Hopefully.
So this journey into the social ghost, it has to start with the psychology, right? This need to belong,
Yeah.
or NTB. Can you maybe unpack that for us a bit? Why is this human drive suddenly so important in the, let's say, rational world of business?
Sure. So the need to belong, NTB, it's this pervasive human drive. Thinkers like Baumeister and Leary really defined it well back in 95, building on Maslow's earlier work, of course.
Right.
It's basically our built-in desire to form and keep lasting positive relationships. We're social creatures, fundamentally.
Yeah, makes sense.
And this need, it drives so much of our behavior, often where we least expect it, like in business. See, a lot of organizational thinking just assumes rational economic motives drive everything.
The bottom line, basically.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But this research shows how belongingness needs other social psych factors. They have these huge, sometimes subconscious effects. They can even build competitive advantage without anyone really noticing or planning it. Yeah, it really pushes us to look beyond just the numbers, to see the human element.
And that's where the social ghost metaphor really hits home for family firms.
Yeah.
Because these connections are kind of assumed.
Precisely. It's not that theories ignore social stuff entirely, especially in family business studies or resource-based views. They assume social ties and belonging are important.
Okay.
They'll mention organizational culture or intangible social resources, things like that. But this paper argues those assumptions often just hang there like ghosts.
Haunting the literature.
Kind of. Present everywhere, maybe shaping predictions, but rarely really examined directly. Not theoretically, not empirically. They're sort of implicitly there. But how they actually work often stays a bit mysterious.
Gotcha. So how do we make this ghost less ghostly? How does the research say this need gets satisfied in a place like a family business?
Right. So to really pin it down, the research looks at how the need to belong is actually met. It identifies two core criteria. First, you need frequent, sort of positive, pleasant interactions with a few key people.
Like a close-knit family working together day to day.
Exactly. You can picture that easily in a cohesive family business. And second, those interactions need to happen within a stable, enduring framework of effective concern for each other.
Okay, effective concern. What does that look like practically?
Think about things like participative decision-making, where people genuinely care about each other's input, not just for now, but with an eye on future stability. It's about long-term care and the steadiness of the relationship.
Stability and genuine care. Okay, so you might be thinking, how do these, I guess, softer social things turn into a hard competitive edge?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
And this study points to something really powerful, doesn't it? A concept called family business potency.
It does. This is where it gets really interesting because it crystallizes how the human element impacts the bottom line. Family business potency, it's defined as the controlling family's collective belief about their family business's ability to be effective.
Collective belief. So not just one person's confidence, but the whole family unit.
Exactly. It's a shared, deeply held conviction about their combined capability.
And this potency, it's not just a feeling, right? The research treats it as a genuine strategic resource.
Absolutely. It positions it squarely within resource-based theory, RBT. For listeners maybe less familiar, RBT basically says a firm's internal strengths are key to its competitive edge, maybe even more than just market position.
Right, what makes you unique inside?
Precisely. And for something to be a sustained competitive advantage under RBT, it needs to meet certain criteria. First, potency is valuable. It motivates the family to jump on opportunities, deal with threats. High-potency groups perform better because they mobilize their abilities effectively.
Okay, valuable. Makes sense.
Second, it's rare. It's really rooted in that specific family's history, their shared journey, their bonds, often built over generations. It's unique to them.
Hmm.
Scholars like Edelston, Kellerman, Salvato, Mellinen have pointed this out,
So you can't just copy it easily.
which leads to the next points.
Hmm.
It's imperfectly imitable and non-substitutable. Think about it, that shared history, those values, expectations, stories spanning generations.
Hmm.
How could a competitor possibly duplicate that? Or find something else that does the same job? It's incredibly difficult.
Wow. So yeah, this is way more than just like good vibes or optimism.
Much more.
It's a tangible, strategic capability born from cytology, but with real business impact, a genuine edge.
That's the argument, yes.
Okay, so if potency is the secret sauce here, how exactly do those family bonds create this powerful belief? And then how does the belief actually lead to success? The research mentions two main pathways, right?
Correct. Two distinct but linked pathways.
Let's start with family cohesion. I mean, we kind of intuitively get that the connectedness and emotional bonding someone like Barber and Beeler talked about, we feel it in our own families. But apply that to a business. What does it really do? How does it help?
You put it well. When family cohesion is high, members just naturally develop more positive feelings and more favorable thoughts about their group's abilities. They feel good about the family as a unit capable of running the business.
Okay.
And that directly helps meet that basic need to belong we talked about, this strong emotional connection. It fosters attitudes, actions that strengthen their shared belief in the business's effectiveness. That is family business potency.
So the bond builds the belief.
Exactly. They also tend to be more accurate in judging their collective skills. They trust each other's knowledge implicitly. There's a kind of psychological safety there.
Right, right. Okay, pathway one, cohesion builds potency. What's the second pathway?
The second is participative strategy processes. This is basically about how much the family firm lets strategic decisions be made collaboratively, especially among family members.
So involving people, making sure everyone feels heard.
Pretty much. Cultivating an environment for open idea exchange where input feels genuinely valued.
And how does that feed into potency?
Well, remember the second part of satisfying the need to belong. That need for interactions within a stable framework of effective concern.
Yeah, the long-term care aspect.
Exactly. By showing genuine concern for others' opinions and, importantly, for the firm's future stability, like during long-term planning, these participative processes hit that mark.
Ah, I see.
This inclusivity builds mutual trust, better understanding, and that, in turn, sharpens the decision-maker's family business potency. It boosts their confidence in their collective ability to tackle whatever comes next. It's that feeling that your voice matters, that it strengthens the whole group.
Okay, so we have cohesion and participation building this potency. But let's connect the dots to the end result. How does potency actually improve the bottom line? Is it just confidence, or are there real mechanisms?
That's a critical link, and the research is pretty clear. The mechanism is quite robust. We know from lots of research, like from Locke and others, that individuals in groups with higher self-efficacy, or potency in this case, they mobilize more resources, they put in more effort, they're more persistent when things get tough, and crucially, they tend to use more effective strategies to reach their goals.
So it translates into action.
Definitely. In family firms, this means better coordination of resources, resource orchestration, and more accurate, agile decision-making.
Why more?
Because members genuinely rely on each other's knowledge, they trust the support structure, and critically, they develop a culture where mistakes are learning opportunities, not just chances to assign blame.
Oh, that's huge.
It is. When challenges pop up, and they always do, cohesive families with high potency use those strong relationships to learn, adapt, become more resourceful, more confident for the next hurdle. Okay, this is all making sense, but you mentioned the data had a twist. Something that challenges our first thoughts. Yes, this is where it gets really nuanced, and it's important for you, the listener, to grasp this. The study found that while, yes, family cohesion and participative strategy both boost family business potency,
Right, as we just discussed.
their direct impact on actual firm performance isn't quite what you might expect.
Oh, how so?
Well, the mediation results are the key here. The study strongly backed up hypotheses 1 and 2. Cohesion boosts potency, participation boosts potency. Check.
Okay.
And hypothesis 3 was also supported. Potency boosts phone performance. Check again.
Still sounds straightforward.
Right, but here's the thing. Hypothesis 4 looked at whether potency mediated the link between cohesion and performance, and it was fully supported. Meaning that while cohesion looked like it was directly linked to performance initially, when you statistically account for potency, that direct link vanished. It became non-significant.
Wow. So cohesion builds potency.
And it's that potency that then primarily drives the performance. The direct effect of just being cohesive wasn't the main story for performance.
Fascinating. So it's an indirect effect through potency.
Exactly. And maybe even more surprising was hypothesis 5. This looked at participation's link to performance, mediated by potency. Again, fully supported mediation.
Okay.
But crucially, the direct link between just participating in strategy and actual firm performance, it was non-significant.
No direct link at all.
Not in this study's findings. So simply having participative processes, while great for building potency, didn't directly translate to better performance on its own. Its positive effect only flowed through the increased family business potency it created.
Okay, let me try and summarize that. Getting family involved in strategy is good because it builds collective confidence potency. But it's the potency itself that actually leads to better results, not just the act of participating.
You've got it. It's not enough just to have the meeting. The meeting needs to result in that shared feeling of, we can do this, for it to really impact performance.
That's a really important distinction. So if you're listening to this, maybe involved in a family firm, or frankly, any team trying to be effective, these aren't just academic ideas. There are real practical takeaways here, right?
Yes, absolutely. The findings strongly suggest that family firms should be really active, really mindful about cultivating cohesion and enhancing participation, not just as, nice to haves, but as strategic goals to build up that potency.
So be intentional about it.
Exactly. Think about formalizing things, maybe creating a family constitution, holding regular structured family meetings where people genuinely feel heard, fostering an environment where open, respectful debate about strategy is just the norm.
Making it part of the business fabric.
Precisely, building those social mechanisms unconsciously.
It really boils down to making sure those social needs, that belongingness, aren't just assumed. They need to be actively nurtured.
Right. And this isn't just about hitting this quarter's numbers. It's about building resilience, a lasting legacy, making those future transitions smoother.
Yeah, that strong social foundation seems key for long-term adaptability, handling change.
For sure. Now, like any good study, we should mention the limitations.
Always important.
It did rely on self-reported data from surveys. So, there's always a chance of bias. People might want to present their family or business in a positive light.
Social desirability bias.
Right. And it was cross-sectional, just a snapshot in time. It doesn't track these things developing over years. So we infer causality carefully.
Okay.
Also, the sample tended to be older firms, maybe less focused on, say, high-growth tech startups.
Yeah.
So we definitely need more research across different kinds of family businesses to see how widely these effects apply.
Good points. Important context. So thinking about this, if family business potency, this shared belief in effectiveness, is so critical, what happens if that belief is, wrong, if it's misplaced? Could a really strong, cohesive family, super sure of themselves, actually lead the business down the wrong path if their self-assessment isn't accurate? Could potency become a liability?
That is a really critical question. And yes, absolutely. Potency or overconfidence that becomes detached from reality, that lacks critical self-reflection. That could definitely be a significant vulnerability.
You think, maybe.
Could lean that way.
Yeah.
It really highlights the need to balance this powerful collective belief with ongoing, honest assessment of the actual situation and capabilities. It's a double-edged sword, potentially.
It leaves you wondering, doesn't it? We've unmasked the social ghost, seen its power, but its influence is clearly complex, not always straightforwardly positive.
Very true.
Well, that was a genuinely insightful deep dive. Unpacking the social ghost, understanding how that fundamental need to belong fuels collective potency, it really changes how you look at business performance, I think.
Absolutely. It really poses a key question for all of us. Doesn't matter what organization we're in. How consciously are we nurturing those social bonds? How deliberately are we fostering that collective belief?
Because it might just be the most powerful performance driver we have, even if it's often overlooked.
Could well be.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, keep digging, keep learning, and keep belonging.